All righty, everyone, welcome in. It is Friday, November 7th, 2025. Let's get right into Amplifying Voices. I am John Graham. This is Will Edwards. We are on Facebook Live as well as we have been in the past. And we are we're kind of in a new setup, kind of semi the same setup. Again, I'm or if I wanted to, I can actually control everything remotely because we got the camera here. And I think we have comments as well. So let me see here. Yeah, there is Kate. So hello, Kate. But yeah, we're watching the chat roll in. So feel free to come on in and chat with us. We have a couple of topics to talk about, today on this Friday. First of all, snow is on the way, if you can believe that. Can you believe that, Will?
Hasn't set in yet.
Yeah. So, but obviously with that, I want to ask Will, how was your week, and did you get used to the daylight savings time pretty quickly?
My week's been pretty good, but I will say the daylight change, it was kind of a surprise because it's kind of weird for it to be dark at start getting dark at 5 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's honestly something that I've had to get used to as well. Is the daylight savings time and delivering in the dark and all that stuff. It's really crazy because Sunday I honestly it didn't really bother me as much because I was in Kendallville and most of my stops were in the city. So I was able to to finish at a decent time. So that's kind of like how I got used to it. And I'm sure, Will, that you're driving to work now has been kind of somewhat dark, hasn't it?
I would actually say because of the time change, especially when I drive to my factory job, usually before the time shift, it used to be pitch black because it would only having the sunset will only start at 8 a.m. and I arrive at work at 7 a.m. But now with the time change, even though it becomes dark much earlier in the day, it also becomes light much earlier in the morning. So when I'm driving there, I'm already greeted by a sunset. So yeah, I guess there is that, because the thing I always notice is that I always tend to drive slightly slower in the dark than I do in the day. Mainly about 5 miles less than usual, especially on the highways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And and honestly, the funny thing is that side note, I actually thought that I had found or had realized where Will works. But turns out I don't. It was just another. It just was a random factory that that is kind of on the cusp of Auburn and Garrett. That I've been delivering to most recently. Because I will say, even though my main area of delivery is Kendallville, I have recently been in Auburn and Garrett. But again, we're not going to expose, or I'm not going to let everyone, the public know where he works, but I do know the area that he's in now. So, that's, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, that's cool though. You know, but you do have, and we're going to talk about Cancun first, but you do have some big news, don't you?
Yeah, and that is that I am going to be start working full time at my factory work, and this is the first time I'm doing full time work at a job because my two previous jobs, the first one was being a martial arts instructor. I did that, I think, like 2 years, and then I was laid off due to financial issues. But
It just clear up. It wasn't financial issues on your part. It was on the company's part.
on the business's part,
Yes.
yeah. I guess to put it simply, they just weren't making enough for their part-time workers, so they just had to lay some of them off, and I was one of them. But to make up for it, they gave me the permission to train in their adult classes without the need of paying them to be part of the classes.
Yeah.
So there is that, which I think is pretty nice. So, and then my other job, which I've been a part of, I'd say 3 years now, is the Fort Wayne ice rink job. So I have only 2 more weeks working there. My last day will be the 21st, and then I'll start working full time at the factory. So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. It's always cool to report. Especially when we're trying to outreach about what we do here on Spectrum Radio and all that. That people I know, they can find full-time work just fine. And Kane's example, like he's been working at Kroger now for 6 years. And you're getting on your and you're just starting, well, not starting, but you're in your 3rd year at that location.
Yeah, I guess my 3rd year overall, just doing work.
Yeah. So, So, and that's something that we should all be proud of, as as neurodivergent people, finding work, and keeping work and all that stuff. So, but yeah. But yeah, congrats, Will, on getting full time. There. I want to say I feel like that you just got the job shortly before we moved to our new location. Isn't that right?
When did we get this location again?
We got this back in May or no. We got this back in August or September. No, September. Yeah, we got this back in September.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I joined the factory work, I think in July, I believe it was, when it was summer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I remember you saying that it was going to be like that it was going to be like almost like a 90-day probational period, that you mentioned.
Something like that.
Yeah,
kind of like, I guess like after like the summer, I was gonna like just ask myself like, is this something I want to do full time? And when I was given the green light as to it's available, I decided to jump onto it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hi, Jackson, who just jumped in on desktop. Yeah. How are you, Jackson? We hope you're doing good. Yeah. But yeah, one thing we talked about last week was our vacations. You literally just got back from Cancun, about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I believe in August 17th is when I came back from it, but I went there not August, October 12th to the 17th. And then the day after, like when I got back home, I had a karate tournament on the 18th.
Yeah.
So, and then and I got a hit rib on my right side, which pretty much because of that, I've just taken a couple weeks away from the gym just to let it heal. Because that's the thing that I learned about, like when you have like a rib, like a bruised rib mainly. It's just that if you take a break from weightlifting, then you're not adding extra stress onto the muscle, and it can properly heal. So that's what I've been doing. So hasn't really changed that much. So
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Cancun on this Tuesday. This Tuesday morning. We're leaving for Cancun, so that will be a great trip. This is the first time that I've ever been out of the country, and it sounds like we're going to be on a big plane. Which I've been on an Airbus before. I feel like I've been on a Boeing before as well. But I think definitely this will probably be one of the biggest planes that I'm ever going to be on.
What is it like? What's like the flight specifically like? Because you have to go to like a bigger airport to go to fly internationally.
Yeah, correct. So without disclosing like flight information, I know that we are landing in Chicago, so we're flying out of Chicago. Because I remember that you flew in and out of Atlanta. Is that correct?
Yeah, usually me and my family, we always land in Atlanta most of the time if we're ever flying to a specific location. It's usually Atlanta and then another flight to the main location.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, but yeah, so yeah, like we're leaving sometime. I thought I heard that we're leaving like at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. Chicago time. Because they're an hour behind us. So it would be 5:16 in the evening right now there. And I actually remembered, I think when we were just talking about this last week, that Cancun is 2 hours behind us.
I think it's actually just one.
Yeah, let me double check this. I think you are accurate.
Yeah, because I remember when we did our last autism group meeting and I was on video call. I remember that like I was like it was going to be 1 hour ahead in your time.
Yeah.
So if it was happening like at our meetings are usually at like 6.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that meant I had to be on at 5 down there.
Yeah. So it actually looks like now that they are on the same time zone, the same time as us. So yeah, because it's 6:16 now, and according to the world clock, they are on at they're also on 6. They're also 6:16 right now. So that's actually quite cool. I don't have to deal with much of a change here. Okay, let's comments are coming in on the Facebook. We're on Facebook Live. Jackson Harris again dropping in. He said with YouTube TV dropping, ABC and ESPN, I went to Google.
Is that like a TV, like a TV channel sometime?
Yeah, I believe it's like a Hulu, or even like a YouTube TV. Or like, yeah, because I mean that's crazy. Like that's crazy that ABC and ESPN have been dropped by YouTube TV because ABC or because Disney can't come to an agreement with YouTube TV because they want more money to.
I mean, we've seen the trend. I mean, Disney can't accept anything. So
You're telling me.
yeah.
You're telling me.
I mean, just to name a few off the top of my head, there's the Sonic versus Mufasa controversy. There was the Snow White controversy, and then there's been a lot of controversies with just the business itself. I mean, one such example, and I don't want to sound gruesome or anything, but there was a woman that died on the theme park, and the husband tried to get a fine out of them, but they were like, no, you can't because you're on a specific membership with us that he didn't even know of.
Yeah.
So and even if that was the case, but it's like still you can give somebody a few $1,000s when you make over multi-million more. So so it's like you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and and what kind of company is Disney with to the fact that they don't care if like any of their guests actually die. Like that's just shameful. That's just very, very shameful. Like that's yeah. I don't really know how I support a company that's like that. But unfortunately, sometimes we gotta do that because that actually brings us to our next topic. You might not think that Disney is related to this, but they technically are. So tomorrow night is another one of our movie social outings with the autism support group that I host and that was a part of. We're going to be seeing Predator Badlands. The movie is, and again, I'm just mentioning it just because of the fact that we're talking about Disney, but the movie is being distributed by 20th Century Studios, which is, if you might know, just got bought out by Disney. So again, we have to deal with Disney when we don't even really, consider it. But yeah, that's our social night tomorrow night. Is Predator Badlands, which
I would argue, I would hardly say they would want to really contribute their name that much to it, just because I mean, they're not really a blood kind of company, I guess if that's what you could say. I mean, they have had like a few dark movies in the past. Probably, in my opinion, the darkest movie they ever did was The Incredibles. And you want to know why?
why?
Well, there's a few things I can think of. One of them is the fact that in the movie, the supervillain, he was killing off superheroes with his machine. So basically, you could say that's superhero genocide. And I mean, that's a pretty serious topic, let alone. So it's crazy that Disney would do that themselves. The second thing is that they literally show a skeleton of a superhero. I mean, that alone should trauma children.
Yeah.
And 3 is how the supervillain died, which was getting pulled into a airplane engine by his own cape. And yeah, so it's like you don't see that anymore these days.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean it's yeah I mean, I would argue that Snow White is the darkest movie that they've done because of reasons unknown, or even Mufasa, because they can't take Disney just doesn't care that they're losing to Sonic.
Oh, well, that's not actually what I mean, like by dark.
Yeah,
Like when I say dark, I mean just like a story that kind of makes you feel like horror in a sense.
the horror.
Yeah, there's nothing horrifying about having temper tantrums just because you can't make enough money. I mean, that's not the same thing.
That child. Or I mean, Pivotal. So yeah, what do you guys think about the whole Disney and YouTube TV not getting along? Only because Disney's throwing a temper tantrum because they want more money out of that. So yeah, go to our Facebook channel and comment below your thoughts. Or even if you're watching this later on YouTube, give us your thoughts as well. But yeah, going back to our soul sharing tomorrow night. This was actually Will's idea. I will say that I'm a little bit unfamiliar with the Predator franchise. I believe that this is somewhat of a sequel after Prey.
Uh, I'm not 100% sure if it is, but what I do know is that it is being directed by the guy who directed Prey and also directed the animated Predator movie called Killer of Killers. So this is his third Predator movie being hosted by the same director. So, and it's also directed, I think, by the same people that made Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what makes it interesting is that it's a very consistent director that's been doing the latest Predator movies. So I'm kind of curious how that'll go because I mean I don't know if you've seen the movie Killer of Killers.
No. I'm a movie guy, and I actually have not.
I believe it's on it's on a TV series. I forgot which one specifically, but basically it's about how there were these three predators that attacked three different main characters that were from different time eras. For example, the first era was in the Viking era. Then another was in the Samurai era, and then in the World War I era. And basically, the predators abducted these three people that slayed different predators from that timeline, and they were like, "You will fight to the death and be the killer of killers." So yeah, and it also actually had a crazy post-credits scene where they actually I forgot the name of the girl from Prey. You know her name?
No.
But basically,
I have heard of Prey, but I have not seen it.
Basically, in the movie Prey, there's this Indian girl that slayed a predator. In the movie Killer of Killers, you can see in the post-credit scene they had her locked up in cryostasis.
Yeah.
So
So then I have a question for you. Have you seen the trailer for Badlands?
yeah, it's I would say my overall first impressions of it. I think the main premise of it is about that the predator in the movie is, I would say, a rookie predator. Like, because people say like that it doesn't look as monstrous or even grotesque. And my theory is because it's probably a young predator that is yet to prove itself, and on the planet he lands on, he's going to face dangers that will prove himself.
Yeah.
That's at least what I think it's going to be.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah. Because I mean, to your comment about in Prey, there was that woman. I was going to ask you, and this might be a discussion for after the movie tomorrow, but I was going to ask you, is the woman in the trailer for Badlands, which obviously they connect, or she connects with Predator, are they connected? The last movie.
I do know that Prey and Predator Killer of Killers, they are connected, and I'm assuming this Predator Badlands, because it's being run by the same director as the previous two movies, I'm sure they probably are connected, but I'm not 100% sure because I haven't seen the movie yet, and the trailer doesn't quite yet implement that, but it's just a matter of seeing the movie, and maybe we'll see if it is or not.
Yeah, I might actually have to find. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it's streaming on, or Prey at least is streaming on Disney Plus and on Hulu.
And also look up Killer of Killers.
Okay.
I think that one came out. I think
it says 2025.
Yeah, it's a very recent.
So that's all. This is also on Disney Plus, looks like, and Hulu.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the same director did both of these movies.
Yeah.
So, and he kind of has a love for
Predators.
that, and having the Predators take place in like non-modern timelines.
Yeah.
Like it compared to the other Predator movies.
Yeah. Killer of Killers, according to IMDb, which is a website I would normally frequent, for movie information. It came out on June 6th, 2025. So it came out on June 6th of this year. So, yeah. So, and it looks like prequel is still, looks like Prey is considered the prequel even to this. So it's almost like, and I actually do remember this being promoted, and now that I've seen this, I'm putting two and two together. That this, I think this probably is a clear prequel, probably for Badlands. But if I have time, I might end up watching Prey tonight.
Yeah, I guess what I can say is if you are going to watch all three, I would say because Prey, Killer of Killers, and Badlands are all by the same director, it probably makes the most sense to watch Prey
First.
Yeah, first, and then just go from there. Because
and that's probably what I'll end up doing is I'll probably end up watching Prey tonight, and then tomorrow if I have some time, I might watch the animated movie.
I will say it's really good. That is what I will say.
Which one do you like more, or do you like them equally?
I would say right now my favorite one is Killer of Killers, just because of like the different time eras of each protagonist, and they fight their own type of predator, and that predator kind of resembles their era in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So I kind of feel like that movie is what really enticed me into the Predator franchise. So
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like what really kind of enticed me into this franchise is probably definitely, to the Predator franchise, because I've actually, true story, even though I'm a movie guy, I've not seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger I'm not seeing the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger yet. And I remember that I think before Prey came out, or maybe it was after Prey. There was that Predator film that almost seemed like it was a reboot. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Because there was another Predator movie. It was called The Predator. So so it was called The Predator. So, and then we have Predator Badlands, but I'm not sure if these are connected.
Which director is it?
Shane Black.
Which one are the ones? Which was the one for Prey?
Dan.
Okay, so they probably aren't related.
Yeah. So,
because usually if it's the same director, there's usually a higher chance that the stories are related.
Yeah.
Because they kind of like it to be their franchise.
Yeah.
They are going to make more than one movie.
Yeah. And the early reviews for Badlands makes it sound like this is going to continue on as a franchise. So, and honestly, like, well, at least Will knows my thoughts on Alien, like Alien Romulus, because so I've seen the first Alien movie, and I skipped ahead and kind of generally watched the rest of the films. I feel like I might have watched a little bit of Alien Resurrection, and then I just kind of jumped into Romulus, which came out last year, and I was just again blown away from. I was just blown away from that movie, and I think I was in Nashville at the time. So go on.
Yeah, and I remember when I watched it, it was just me and Aaron, and it was the day before one of my karate tournaments. I would say going into the movie, I kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like because, there's xenomorphs, there's space huggers, there's probably going to be the chest bursters. Now, What really caught me totally by surprise was the alien baby that's at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That
was a great twist. That had me going.
Yeah. I was just like, oh wow, this was a curveball.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Didn't see that one coming. Nope, didn't see that one coming. So So but either way, I really hope that I really hope that this is now this is just going to be my honest opinion going into this movie. Okay, you guys ready? My honest opinion going into this movie, which is again Predator Badlands, is that I am honestly expecting kind of like I'm going to go in with the same expectation when I went into Alien Romulus, where I know nothing about the movie, and I have no expectations about the movie. Like it's like honestly, if the movie is a total blow to me, it's not gonna. I feel like it's not going to upset me because because honestly, like this is my first go at it. Now, if I do. I wonder what my reaction will be going into tomorrow night if I watch Prey tonight. Because if I watch Prey tonight, and again, if you're just tuning in, Will and I were talking about how this is kind of like a trilogy. First, there was Prey. Second, there was Predators, right?
Predator, Killer of Killers.
Killer of Killers.
Yeah.
I probably won't honestly get to Predator Killer of Killers tonight, but if I had time, I might watch Prey. But if I do watch Prey, it'll be very interesting to see if I'm blown away by that tonight, if I like go into the theater thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. But again, no expectations about this movie. I'm going to go in literally blind, kind of like how I went in with Alien Romulus, which honestly might be the best way to go into a movie. You know, like because Freddy, or Five Nights at Freddy's 2 comes out in a couple weeks here, and that's a sequel I'm looking forward to. But but I feel like a lot of those movies really get hyped up, and they get me hyped up for them, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing those kinds of those movies, like the movies that I'm used to, like Wicked and Five Nights at Freddy's and James Bond and Mission Impossible when we get to them. But like a movie like Predator Badlands, I absolutely have no way of knowing how it's going to be, and I think that's like probably the best way of going into a movie. What do you guys think? Comment below and on YouTube, on Facebook Live. Let us know your thoughts. On what you think. But yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe I will enjoy it. Which honestly, I did just get out of seeing the movie tonight, or this afternoon. I went to go see. I went to go see the sequel for Black Phone, aka Black Phone 2, which was really, really good. And honestly, if you haven't seen the original, or if you have seen the original rather, definitely go see the sequel. That's all I'll say for that. But again, that movie that really blew me away, but still good. So, was there anything else that you want to touch on regarding Predator, Alan?
Nothing much as of right now, just because I haven't seen the movie
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. But we are seeing it tomorrow in IMAX, I do believe. So, So if you want to call it like a movie meetup, you can meet up with us tomorrow night at 7 at Jefferson Point. That's where we'll be. So,
Just make sure not to rob us.
well, I don't got any. I really, I don't really have any money. I have money, obviously, but I'm not made up of money. So
That's actually a good thing to let you know about. This is something my dad always tells me. It's like people, especially in like Mexico, if you don't have money on you, they won't hesitate to pop you. Like if somebody comes up to you and says, "I need money right now," and you just feel threatened and all that, if you just give them some, they'll just leave you alone. If you don't have any, it's not going to be any better for you. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, it's something that I've been kept getting told of.
Yeah. Well, how many times? Well, while you were in Cancun, did that ever happen to you?
No.
Where you just had to walk away?
No, nothing bad happened. The only thing that almost happened is I almost got bit by a centipede, which the ones outside of America, they're venomous. So that's why I kind of freaked out when I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, get it off me.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, if that thing bites me, I'm gonna be in trouble. and it was on the day that we were leaving too. So I was like, oh, if it bit me, is that gonna screw up our flights at all? Because
because if you have to be in the hospital, that would probably screw up your flight schedule.
Yeah.
So, which I actually do know that our resort is about an hour away from the airport.
Oh.
So how far away were you from the airport?
I would say like maybe 20 minutes, or I would say most likely.
That's not bad.
Yeah, we took like they had like vans that like take you to specific resorts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or like that. So, but yeah, or like because I was, or because we were told, that, or yeah, we were told that everyone's gonna try to be your friend in Mexico, and it's always because they're gonna try to talk. They're always going to try to sell you something. So it's just best just to ignore them, and just keep walking, keep walking. That's why when you said that, that Mexico people from Mexico can pop you, which honestly that's probably really anywhere. Like and anywhere you go, like anyone could try to pop you, rob you. So we're gonna say something.
no.
Oh, okay. Okay. You just had that look that something was on your mind. So, but yeah, programming obviously with me being in Cancun next week, we will not be doing a broadcast next week. We will come back and we'll actually have an episode on the 21st, which we might have some more guests in the office with us, because we're going to host the Finance of Freddy's screening here opposite our broadcast, or right after our broadcast. So so that'll be November 21st. We'll be back in studio, and I'm sure I'll have loads of Cancun stories, to share. Obviously, if I'm not back by the 21st, then I'll let Will know. But hopefully, God willing, hopefully everything works out. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I only wrote 3 topics down, because I wasn't sure how long we were talking about Cancun, or even our social outing. But our last topic, and we can always add more, if you guys want to ask us questions. But if you want to ask us questions, just pop the question in the chat. Obviously, Jackson Harrison and Kate have already said a few words. So you can always jam with us on Facebook Live if you want to chat with us. But yeah, so the last thing obviously is karate. What's the latest karate action going on?
I do have a tournament next week in Knightstown on the 15th. So there is that.
Isn't that isn't that near Indianapolis again?
Yeah, Knightstown. I believe it's like an hour southeast or just east of Indy. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Well, that's so on the right side, obviously with us skipping, next week also, Will can focus on getting his sleep and making sure he gets a good night rest. Especially considering that he only got 3 to 4 hours of sleep after you got back from Cancun.
No, because we got back home sometime I think at 9.
Yeah.
So I had enough time to get my regular sleep in.
Yeah.
Now it was on the day before our flight that was different, because I had to go to sleep at I think 9 or something, or maybe 8, because our flight was at 5 a.m. and we woke up or at least I woke up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not ideal.
yeah. Like that. Well, I'm gonna plan on waking up at at 3:30. The same day that we go. Because I will say it's gonna be early. Another early for me.
And are you driving to Chicago to the
No.
airport?
No.
Okay. So
We have a connecting layover.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and my family are pretty familiar with that.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if I asked you this before, but how long, or because just to know what to expect, because obviously I know all airports are different. How long did it take you to get from your, because you arrived, or I'm assuming you didn't drive to Atlanta, like,
No.
yeah. So you flew from Fort Wayne to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Cancun, correct?
Yep.
So how long did it take you to walk, or I guess ride the train from your arrival gate to your departure gate?
It was only one stop that we had to be on the train for, so not that long. It kind of mostly just depends on what terminal your plane is at.
Yeah. Because most because most international flights, I think usually take off from the same terminal. So obviously I know that most like obviously like the A, B, C, D terminals that you see are usually normally like for domestic flights and all that. So which is something that is going to be completely new to me. But thankfully, I'm not flying alone to Cancun because
Who all is going with you?
so I'm going with Caden and his family. They like they were going. It's like, hey, as long as you pay your own way, you're more than welcome to come. So so I was able to to pay to go. It's not, or it's expensive. I'll say it's expensive, but given between the opportunity of going to Disney World with you, Dominic and Aaron, and Cancun's definitely cheaper to go to. So
which is kind of the reason why I'm probably not gonna really do a Disney trip again, just because one, it's super expensive.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can do a lot more with a $1,200 than just go to a theme park. You could probably do a lot more with that money for other things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, I'm excited to go. It's my first time going anywhere internationally, and this is like I think my first trip or first vacation in like a year. Because we're not counting we're not counting Cedar Point as a vacation. Because honestly, like those are that could be like done in a day or even 2 days. So I mean, if you add all the Cedar Point trips I've taken in a year, yeah, it might add up to a vacation, but but this is actually gonna legit feel like a vacation. And also, another thing too is, like I said, we're expecting, at least Fort Wayne in Indiana, at least, we're expecting our first snow on Sunday into Monday, I think. So we're so it's gonna turn downright chilly, here in Indiana. So it's gonna be chilly. It is going to be chilly. Let me tell you that. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like chili cold, not chili hot dogs.
Yeah, okay, Sonic. Because Sonic likes his chili hot dogs.
Yeah.
Or chili cheese dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Am I making you hungry?
No, not really.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm making myself hungry. Thankfully I'm going home and eating some wings in a little bit, but yeah, and like I said, in 2 weeks here we'll wrap up, or we'll start talking about my Cancun trip, and how it went. Will can cover his karate tournament that he's going to have next weekend. Which unfortunately I won't be able to attend because I'll be out of town. But yeah. So we have a lot of fun things to talk about next time we're on. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover tonight on the podcast?
Nothing much that I can think of.
Yeah. Or like I mean, yeah, like yeah. I mean, I mean, I will add though that I mean it's getting darker now. It's crazy like how now we're in daylight savings time, and it gets dark. It gets dark around like 5:30, which is crazy.
And I guess the other thing is with winters that the darkness itself, it's like way dark, like compared to like when it's nighttime in the summer, like you can still like see what's around you.
Yeah.
So, in winter nighttime, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Or like that. So I get. So Kane's mom just pointed out, that we can always go live during our trip. So, I suppose, yeah, if you wanted to, Will, you can always join me on Zoom, on that Friday night, but it's entirely up to you, if you want to. I suppose we can go live on Friday night during our vacation. So, which again, thank you so much for inviting me to Cancun. It'll be a blast. So, but yeah, I think that's been it for us. I'll see you next week with me being out of town. I don't have any plans on going live, but unless if something substantial happens in my life or whatever, we can always go live, for our broadcast. Maybe Kane can join me as a special guest, but and you guys remember, Kane's the one that actually talked about Warhammer and and all that stuff, which he can go on for a lot more longer than I think he only went on for like 30 minutes or maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, because I think he said he could go on for like hours.
Yeah. Trust me, he can go on for hours to talk about Warhammer. And now honestly, he can talk probably about or he could probably we could probably make an hour just on Warhammer and Magic the Gathering, which is a game that him and I routinely play in the evenings when I get back or when I get off work. But all right, well I guess that's gonna do it for us. We are planning on being back on November 21st. We'll cover the Cancun trip and how it was, and also we'll talk about Will's karate tournament that he's going to be at next Saturday, and we'll follow it up with a Five Nights at Freddy's screening here in the office following our podcast. So for all of us here at Amplifying Voices and at Spectrum 23.9, we appreciate you tuning in on Facebook Live, on Spectrum, the app. However you listen to us, we appreciate you. And we hope you'll tune in next time on our broadcast. So for all of us here at Spectrum 23.9, thank you for tuning in. And we love you. Will, hey, I'm going to walk over there and end the stream, but before I do that, give me closing thoughts.
Nothing much. I just hope you all have a good night today.
All right, and